So welcome back to the next part of this tutorial video on how to build R2D2. The next part is we're going to keep continuing and working on this leg element that we've created before. So let's see. We've made a cut here before to be able to anticipate this little section, but we also have to make sure that everything lines up. So make sure to go back to your left view, as you can see like I have, and as you can see there's already some issues with my mesh. So how do I fix these issues and such? So let's sort that out. First, we go to in edit mode, we press 1 to go to vertices, Alt-C for X-ray mode so you can see what you're doing, and I'm going to select these two right here, and I'm going to non-uniform scale them on the red axis, so that's lined up here. And as you can see, this row right here of the extrusion doesn't quite line up to the top one, so I'm going to select both rows, and again, non-uniform scale them so they're kind of more aligned. Good enough. Cool. And then the next section we are going to do is, if we look on the front, we have this little section right here that pops out inside. So we're going to have to find a way to model that so it looks correct. As you can see, again, the model got misaligned in some places, so I'm going to take this row right here and I'm going to just select those and move these so they lined up right here. Yeah, cool. And then we're going to want to do that little extrusion part, so this part also needs to be also lined up so it's all nice and looks good. And then after that we're going to create that little extrusion part. So how do we do that? We're going to go to face mode, turn off X-ray mode, and then select these faces right here. And then we're going to go to insert faces and then push inwards, kind of give us that shape that we want. And then again, it's going to be a lot of back and forth between X-ray mode, so scale this so it kind of lines up correctly a little bit more. And I'm not trying to do perfect R2D2 because some of this stuff with just details, if you want to get super accurate, it's going to take a lot of cuts, and this is for a game, so people are not going to be really paying attention that much. So after we have those selected right here, we're going to go to the side, and then I am going to extrude these. So now that I've extruded it, as you can see, it's not quite what I wanted to extrude, so I'm going to go rotate back to this, just select just that one right there, go into the right perspective, and then extrude it. And as you can see, it has a little bit of a tapering shape. So how am I going to do that? So I'm going to go ahead and go to press 1, go to vertice mode, take these, line this up, move it here. And then these ones right here, I'm going to want to collapse the shape because as you can see, it looks like it just sort of goes into the inside and just gets collapsed. So how do I do that? I turn off X-ray mode, turn on snap, and again, you make sure when you snap, make sure you go to your options right here. Make sure auto merge is turned on, which every time you snap vertices to one point to another, it merges them. So I'm going to take these right here, and I'm going to snap it here and here. And then as you can see now I have that sort of that outward poking out shape, and we're getting a little bit closer to how R2D2 looks like. So the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to save. Cool. I'm going to exit, go into object mode, turn off the shading. As you can see, it's a little bit more complex than mesh. And nope, sorry, not finished. We need to close off the bottom of that mesh. So I'm going to go back to edit mode. And if I go right here towards the bottom, I will go into edge mode. It's like these two. F for fill. And then select these 4 vertices, hit F to fill that, and select these 4 as well, hit F to fill that. And then as you can see, we have our, when I go to object mode, we have our leg model. It's looking good. I'm going to do save this shit so it doesn't get broken. And then what's going to be the next part? The next part is going to be this little, go to the side here, If I hide that, it's going to be this little cylinder element right here that's in the mesh. So how are we going to do that? We're going to go to top perspective. You really can't see it that much, so some of the cylinder is going to have to be adjusted in all the views. So again, what am I going to do? I'm going to go ahead and do Shift A, mesh, Shift A, mesh, cylinder, and this is not a very thick one, so let's say this 8 is good enough for this one. We'll make it 8. Bring down the radius on it, and probably move it to the side some more so we can work with it. It's probably going to be right there, but we'll see. Cool. So now that we have that, I'm going to go into the right perspective, and then we're going to move this kind of right to the location that it should be and such. So once I have that, I'm going to take this, uniform scale it, and the thing is, I'm not quite sure what's going on with R2D2 in that section, so I'm just going to have to improvise based on what I see. So now that we have it up here to the front, I'm going to line it up to this and go to X-ray mode. More or less the right thickness that I want, for example. And then I'm going to go to edit mode. First thing I'm going to do first is I'm going to go to edges. I'm going to go right down here to loop cut. One loop cut here, one loop cut there. And we're going to take these loop cuts after we create them, and we're going to align them to where it is on the mesh. So it's right here. You have a little bit of tapering. Do this on vertice. A little tapering. Oop. Turn off snap so that doesn't happen. Move that up. Cool. It's good. And again, we're going to go back in the front, and again, press 2 to go to edge. And then you're going to do one loop cut. And that loop cut you're going to take, rotate up to this taper point, and then again select down here, another loop cut, place that, click on it, move it to where it sort of should be, and then if I go to vertices, I select that row, all of them, and then I uniform scale them so it kind of has that tapering shape, and then I taper it like this. File, save, and for the time being, I'm going to go to vertices in edit mode, and I'm going to go ahead and lower it right down here. Cool. And this little section lowered here. And then since this part down here is not going to be seen, click on that face, X, faces, and it's gone. And then I'm going to go into object mode, turn off X-ray, and then hit Alt H to see everything else. And as you can see, it has some clipping issues, so I'm going to go ahead and take this, pull it out a little bit more. And then right now with that, I don't know what's happening with the top of R2D2's leg. So this is about the 10-minute mark on this video, so I'm going to go ahead and pause this. And then part number 9, we're going to go see how we're going to finish off this leg. Thank you.